So the question I have is, why does it feel like wherever you turn, wherever I turn, everyone is like not into WrestleMania 41 this year? I, for one, am Mr. Optimistic, or at least I try to be, that I think I'm fine with WrestleMania. I have no qualms with it. Also, we don't know like any of the matches really. Like, we know a little bit, but we have no real idea of the road to WrestleMania. We are what, 10-ish weeks away from this whole show of shows, 2 nights. You got probably 8 matches on both nights. I'm always gonna sit here and be like, hey, WrestleMania is the biggest night of the year, biggest weekend of the year for wrestling, and I just love it. I sit back as a fan, I grab my chips, I grab my drink, grab my scotch, and I sit there and I have a grand old time for like 3 or 4 hours. The beautiful thing that I like about WrestleMania lately, at least the last couple of years, is that because we have the 2-night affair, we don't have the slog of the 8-9 hour WrestleMania Vince McMahon days of yore. Like, it was getting insane over there, and the cards weren't really that good. You'd have a couple of standout matches, but what really seems to be going on right now, at least with the internet, everybody. Welcome to the internet.
Welcome to the internet.
It seems to be a very loud place where everywhere I turn, people are saying how they are not happy with how WrestleMania is shaping up this year, that they feel it's boring, that they feel like it's kind of mid, that they feel like it's just not going to deliver. So again, I'll reiterate to all of you, because you in the comments, you type in your words and you're saying your things, and that's fantastic. But you might be saying, why are you all negative about it? You don't know crap. I don't know crap, but I'm sitting here saying, hey, I think WrestleMania will be a lot of fun. So let's unpack this. Let's just unpack this entire thing with fans and why some sections of the fan base may feel this way. And it's not that they're wrong, but let's examine this. I love Magic Spoon. I actually eat these all the time, especially because I'm working. I'm putting in a lot of long hours, and I find that their Magic Spoon protein treats, they're some of the best out there, because I just need to be able to get something that's got high protein and it's not going to have a lot, basically no sugar added. So I really like that. They've also got these new dandies, these little protein granolas that they got right here. This one's peanut butter, which I can't get enough of actually, because I got a couple of these in the house. So with the Magic Spoon treats, you actually have 11 to 12 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and 1 to 2 grams of net carbs, so you can actually get all the fuel that you need on the go. And with that granola that I mentioned, I got another one here. I got the honey almond brand, which I really like. This has 13 grams of protein and 0 added sugar. Throw it into your yogurt, grab it and go. You'll be all set, and it'll actually fill you up. For me, I'm always trying to find healthy alternatives to just my daily eating, so I'm not always just grabbing snacks that are bad for me. Magic Spoon actually does a really excellent job, especially with these treats, to be able to get something that's going to fill you up. It's going to last you a little bit longer, and you're going to have good energy throughout the day. Use my code Assemble Wrestling or click the link in the description to try Magic Spoon treats or granola today and get $5 off. You can also find Magic Spoon on Amazon or in your nearest grocery stores. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee online. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. So click the link in the description to go to magicspoon.com/assemble wrestling, scan the QR code on screen for $5 off. Right now we know what? Charlotte versus Tiffany Stratton. We also know Jey Uso versus Gunther. We're about to find out at Elimination Chamber who is going to win the chamber to go on to face Cody Rhodes. We might do Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. I say might because based on SmackDown, they're both going to be at Elimination Chamber. I'm going to be at Chamber. I'm excited for that. Sounds like it's going to be just like a brawl. Like they're going to show up in the ring or backstage and it's going to be a fight and it's going to be the equivalent of a match in terms of length. Maybe, but I feel like that's going to set up whatever the two of them are going to do at WrestleMania. Kind of hope Randy Orton's going to be involved somewhere, some form or fashion, like with Kevin Owens. He got the pile driver, right? It was a regular pile driver. It wasn't even a package pile driver, and he was out longer than Cody Rhodes. But anyways, then you have Rhea versus Chamber winner. Could be Roxanne Perez, could be Bayley, could be Bianca. Mid-card titles? Don't know. Don't know what's going. Tag team title matches at Mania? Probably, but don't know. One thing that I see a lot online when it comes to WrestleMania and the fan base is the story of Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble and facing Gunther. And that people are like, that's no good, or they're upset. Jey Uso is just Mr. Yeet and they don't want that. I see it in the comments too. People just being like, no yeet. No yeet. And I'm like, oh no, that's too bad. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a good match. We've seen Jey versus Gunther, but maybe that's part of the problem. We've seen the match. We've seen the match a couple of times. Now it's for the title. But I think WWE wants to have that big moment of the whole stadium doing Jey's entrance and the celebration. Him holding up the title. First world title Jey Uso will ever get. going on that journey of the bloodline all the way through with Jey Uso to this point, it's kind of cool. WWE wants those big moments. I think it'll be a lot of fun, and I like their Saturday Night's main event match. But is it because the build hasn't really started? Is that why? Is that why fans are kind of lukewarm on it right now, or some sections of fans? Because we're on the road to WrestleMania, but nothing really seems to be figured out at this point. And you might say, well, give it time, dummy. We haven't even started yet. Why don't you just wait for the story to play out? I 100% agree. It's a TV show. Watch it every week, things unfold, and then we'll get there and we'll probably sit at WrestleMania and go, hey, this was a great show. This was a lot of fun. Or this build turned out to be really awesome. But look at last year. I think that where maybe some sections of fans feel like this year's WrestleMania isn't as strong is because of all the things that happened last year, and really it was all surrounding Cody in the main event. The Royal Rumble happened. Cody won the Royal Rumble for the second time. He pointed at Roman Reigns. That was where he was gonna go. The Rock got involved. Everything blew up. You had the hashtag We Want Cody movement thing that was happening. So you had this groundswell of fan support coming out during the WrestleMania season, forcing WWE, maybe to some degree, because you never know with the company, but forcing WWE to at least listen to the fans, pivot, and change the plans up. It was must watch. If you're a WWE fan, it was kind of the must see TV stuff, because what was Cody gonna say after the Royal Rumble? He had the moment with The Rock and giving his spot away. The uproar of fans going for that and knowing that Cody needed to finish his story against Roman Reigns. And he inserted The Rock, and then we got Final Boss Rock evolve week after week. That was exciting. You got the huge promos of The Rock. You got the social media posts of The Rock talking about Cody, Mama Rose, his dog. Like it was fun. Once they got going, you had the Las Vegas promo segment, right? Where you had everybody come out and Cody coming out and saying, hey, I'm gonna be in the main event, setting up the tag team match, Seth and Cody versus Rock and Roman. And for last year, they had a 2-night story, and maybe that's part of it. What do you think? Having WrestleMania weekend tell a story to go from night one, where you had Seth Rollins and Cody tagging against The Rock and Roman, bad guys winning, to then lead into night two. There's a huge story thread going all the way to the very end. And then obviously the whole Avengers style thing of having every single legend in person coming out at the end of the main event of night two. It's a big spectacle, but it was a payoff of this huge story and a long story of Cody Rhodes. So maybe because this year we don't have the big Cody story, right? You could argue Jey is doing that because Jey has been under the thumb of the bloodline for years. That story has evolved. Jey broke out on his own. He won the Royal Rumble. To me, it doesn't have the same weight as Cody trying to finally get to the top and beat Roman Reigns, because I think part of it is, again, we've seen the Gunther Jey match, but also it's the world title, it's not Cody's title. You don't have somebody trying to beat Cody, climbing up and, scratching and clawing to get to the main event spot. You do have interesting players though when it comes to the main event scene on Cody's side, because you have all of these players inside Elimination Chamber. Is John Cena gonna win and finish his story and get to the next title? Can he beat Cody Rhodes if he does go to WrestleMania? It might be one of those things that we're gonna have to wait until after Chamber and we're on this really quick crunch time to WrestleMania, where the stories really do unfold and unpack. And on the women's side, we had Charlotte win the Royal Rumble. And again, a lot of people online are either saying, yeah, that's great. Hey, we wanted to see Tiffany versus Charlotte. That's the match that we were looking forward to. And other people will say, this is no good. I think it felt pretty clean cut and obvious that Charlotte was gonna win. And I think it was almost like we were gonna get that Tiffany Charlotte match. So because it felt like there wasn't much questioning around, oh, where is she gonna go, who's she gonna face, maybe that took away from some of the momentum. I also didn't really enjoy Charlotte's original promo she did on Raw, where she kind of like poked at the fans, where they're gonna boo her, and some are gonna cheer her. It didn't really come across very well. And again, we gotta see how this is gonna play out with Tiffany. You might be able to make Tiffany Stratton into a monster babyface coming out of WrestleMania, or at least on this whole road, if they can tell a really cool story between her and Charlotte. I also think that one of the big things that's hurting WWE right now And maybe it's why some people feel like WrestleMania is just not clicking. We don't have a lot of the big players coming into WWE right now in Mania season. Again, last year, The Rock, that was the biggest thing, and Roman was around all the time. And you do have big players, obviously. You have Seth and Drew and Cody and Punk, and you have Kevin Owens and Randy might come back, and there's a lot there, but you are missing on week-to-week TV. Roman Reigns is taken out at the Royal Rumble. Haven't seen him at all. What's the plan for WrestleMania? Don't know. And again, we'll let the story play out and see what happens. It's going to unfold and it might be a lot of fun. You do have CM Punk. You don't have John Cena. On his farewell tour, he's off shooting movies. He's gonna be at the Chamber. I think when I'm recording this, he might show up at Monday Night Raw, but Cena's not around. You don't have other legend acts, and that's okay because there's a whole debate in the world of like, should there be more legends coming to WWE taking up spots of other regular people that are there every single week? You might get Trish Stratus at WrestleMania. You might get Nikki Bella, if you want to put her in the legends category. She might be at WrestleMania, but you don't have now, because we're in kind of the next phase of WWE. You're not getting Undertaker. Goldberg was a question mark. Hey, that never unfolded into anything, did it? We're not going to get Goldberg versus Gunther. Maybe it'll be Goldberg versus Braun Breaker at WrestleMania. Who knows? Or he's not there at all. Triple H is retired. Austin doesn't seem to be coming back at all. The Rock, by all accounts, and it could change, Rock could show up 2 weeks before WrestleMania and say, Roman Reigns, I'm coming for you. And off they go. All of the big mega star legends of WWE are retired or not around, and they're relying on the current day talent and those storylines. And you know what? That's always been a problem in the past of relying too much on legends and not enough on current talent that are trying to tell these big stories week after week. However, one could argue that right now, the week-to-week stories they are building are not exactly all that compelling going into WrestleMania like it has been in years past. Even 39, you had a really good story of Cody and Roman where we all, I think a lot of people thought Cody was going to win, and then they didn't do that. And you're like, oh my gosh, they're going to tell this huge story. Or where's it going to go? Now, he did go off and fight Brock for like half a year, but so be it. Mid-card titles. Like, what are the mid-card stories going into WrestleMania? Hopefully something fun. Braun's got the IC title. Maybe he goes up against Sheamus and Sheamus finally wins and conquers and gets that title in that big moment at Mania, and I hope they tell that story, but we're still kind of waiting to see. Nakamura with the US title, I'm sorry, that ain't working. I love the new look, aesthetic, and feel of Nakamura. I like when he showed up again, surprisingly beat LA Knight for the US title, and then not much. A lot of standing around, a lot of not happening, nothingness. But I'd love to see if maybe it's a multi-man match for the US title. LA Knight, Nakamura, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, I don't know, but more storytelling there for the mid-card. Maybe it's because WrestleMania this year is pretty straightforward. It's not necessarily a bad thing. And once again, you gotta let these stories unfold or develop themselves. I think a lot hinges on the Elimination Chamber and the outcome there for the stories and a lot of people to figure out where they're going to land after that show. Because you do have the elements of Drew, Punk, Seth, Roman, John Cena. Like, that's a lot. The outcome of that match is going to determine, I think, everyone's WrestleMania plans. And from there, they branch off, and I think they then get their big stories, and it's going to take a couple of weeks to get them rolling. Same on the women's side for the Chamber. A lot of elements in there in that Chamber match, and a lot of people can veer off and go do different things. I think we'll get the Jade Cargill story coming out of that. We'll obviously know who's going to face Rhea, and then what story can they tell with that other than someone wants to beat Rhea and become champion? I personally think if we give it time, then we could see something really fun. And it is also a balancing act, isn't it? Because if you have all of these stories mapped out too early, and by early, what does that mean? Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, is that too early? But if you start figuring out stories and story arcs that are going to go from like Royal Rumble and end at WrestleMania, that's a long time, and that's a lot of TV week after week to keep that story or stories very hot, very engaging, where the audience wants to see what's going to happen and then get the big payoff. That is a lot of work. So I can kind of see it where if you're WWE, you're looking at the other side of it going, well, we haven't really shown all our cards yet. And it's, hey, it's in Vegas. Poker, that's fun. All right, so, but you've got all of these superstars and not a lot has been really shown yet. That makes the road to WrestleMania from after Chamber to Mania within a matter of weeks more condensed, more compact, and then I think they're going to hit the gas pedal. And some stuff will land and some stuff won't. There'll be stuff at WrestleMania, I'm sure, that will be like, why was that match there? That wasn't a Mania match. However, the roster from SmackDown, Raw, and NXT The rosters are stacked. I think a lot of people at WrestleMania will get left off the show because they will have so much talent that they do need to showcase. Like the tag team titles and tag divisions on Raw and SmackDown. Don't even know if those would even make it to the WrestleMania card because there is so much talent and they don't want to overdo it in a 3, maybe 4-hour WrestleMania night of having 10 matches, and they want to have the Triple H 8 match at WrestleMania. What do you think? Why are people not really feeling WrestleMania 41 right now so far? Comment below, and if you guys can, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 50,000 subscribers by WrestleMania 41. So it means a lot if you do that, and check out this video right here. Have a great day. See ya.